Bonjour mes amis! My name is Emily and I'm from the International Engineering Education Office at the University of Texas at Austin, and I'm going to teach you some useful phrases to know while you're in France. So I studied abroad in France for a semester in my junior year, and I pretty much didn't know the language at all, and I didn't know too much about the culture, and I really wish I did. I had so many embarrassing moments, and it took me forever to even go into a grocery store and just say hello. Even though I can't teach you French in 5 minutes, I can teach you a couple of basic phrases that should be really helpful for when you're in France. I made a little livret as a guide for you. A livret is a booklet, and if you don't have it, then there's a link right here for you to check out. And then if you do have it, well, great. And yeah, let's get started. So the topics I'm going to cover in this video are sounds in French, asking for help, meeting someone, and eating out in France. The rest of the livret you can just read, like it should have some pretty important information, but I wanted to make a video to teach you how to pronounce the words and phrases that you could use in France. One of them is the French "u." There's different ways that the French say the word you. An example would be a tu, which is just you, or cru, as in jambon cru, it's pronounced tu. So I'm no linguist, so I can't teach you exactly how to do it, but I feel it in the back of my throat, cru, cru, u, u, and you have to make your mouth like a u, u, u. Another sound that's kind of strange is heure, as in l'heure or bonheur. It's kind of the same thing where it's nasally. Also, the double L can have different sounds depending on what goes before it. So like belle means beautiful. It's like a normal L as you're used to. Belle, belle, L, 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 belle. But then if you're saying something like cheville or feuille, it has two L's, but it makes more of a Y, like a Y sound. French is weird. But the one sound that really throws everyone off is the guttural R, the It's literally like you're gurgling something in the back of your throat. And the thing is, a friend taught me how to do this because I couldn't do it for the longest time. So what you do is you take a cup of water, like this, and you drink a little bit. Actually, I'm kind of thirsty. Start with a little bit of water, and you gurgle it. And that's your French R. It might take you a couple of tries, but so you can say words like rouge and robe, and I don't know, some fun words like parapluie. Once you start getting used to it, the R becomes less and less obvious. Also, depending on what region you are in France, they tend to say their R's differently. I don't really know exactly how it works, but I feel like in the south, they might say their R's a little bit stronger than in the north. And so now that you know a couple of sounds in French, we're going to cover some phrases that you can use when you're asking for help in French. So a really important one is excusez-moi, which is excuse me. I used to say this when I was in kindergarten and I didn't even know it was French. But anyway, you can use excusez-moi when you're getting someone's attention. I've also heard it used as whenever you're going by people, like, oh, excuse me, like I'm trying to get through. But then I've also heard people say pardon, like pardon, pardon. That works too. The next one is où est? That means where is. So you can say où est l'arrêt de bus, or où est le métro, and people should direct you in the right direction. If you want to borrow something from someone, like you lost your phone or you need ticket for something, I'm not really sure, you can use est-ce que vous avez? It literally means, is it that you have blank? If you're looking for help and you really need some directions in English, or you need to explain your situation in English, a really important one that a lot of people know is parlez-vous anglais? Do you speak English? Most people in Paris and Toulouse know how to speak English. They're just not comfortable speaking English, so they prefer not to. So it's always important for you to say it in French so that they understand that you're trying. So you probably won't have a French SIM card when you're in France, and you're gonna need to make a phone call or you get lost or something. And so one important phrase that you need to know is est-ce qu'il y a du Wi-Fi ici? Is there Wi-Fi here? And yes, Wi-Fi is Wi-Fi. I laughed the first time because I thought it sounded so dumb, but it's Wi-Fi. And if you're in a store and you really want to know how much something is worth, you can ask combien. But the only problem with that is if they answer in French, you probably won't know what they're saying. So now it's time to learn a couple of phrases that you'll use when you meet people. The most important of these is bonjour, hello. You probably have heard it before, but this is really important whenever you're walking into a store. Especially if you see a worker there, you want to say bonjour. Or if it's in the evening, say bonsoir. And you don't have to do the r at the end. You can just go wa at the end, kind of like bonjour, bonjour, bonsoir, bonsoir. And as long as it sounds similar to that, people should understand what you're saying. A more casual way of saying hello is salut. You could actually say that whenever you're saying goodbye as well, salut. But that's really informal, so you probably won't use it during your Maymester, but you might, and it's important to know. And the way you say how are you is ça va, and you can answer ça va, or ça va bien, or ça va mal if you're having a bad day. And the reason why it's the same thing is because in French, a lot of times you can say a question in the form of just a sentence. You just make it sound like a question. Ça va? Ça va. So I usually say how are you during, before or after la bise, which is like the French kiss, where you just touch your cheeks to the other person's cheeks and you just kiss the air. So, and some other phrases to know: s'il vous plaît, je m'appelle Emily. Or if you want to be if it's a little bit easier, you can say je suis Emily. Okay, don't say your name is Emily because your name's, well, unless your name is Emily. But if your name's not Emily, don't say Emily. And if you want to try out some conversation, you can say vous êtes d'où? Where are you from? And then when you're saying goodbye, you can either say à plus tard, if you're going to see them later, or you can say au revoir for goodbye, like an actual normal goodbye. Whenever you're leaving a store, it's a good idea to say some mix of thank you, goodbye, have a good day. So, and a good one of these is bonne journée or bonne soirée. So whenever I'm leaving a store, I usually say merci, au revoir, or au revoir, bonne journée, or merci, bonne journée. Some kind of combination of those phrases. And usually you'll get one back. Okay, so the next section is eating out in France. If there is no server there when you walk in, then you can just sit wherever you want. And if there is a server there, the best way to approach them is say bonjour or bonsoir and say je voudrais une table pour personne, s'il vous plaît. And if you don't know the numbers in French, this is a quick rundown. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When seated, they're probably going to ask you what you want to drink. And if you just want water or tap water that's free, ask for un carafe d'eau, s'il vous plaît, which is like a bottle of tap water. That way they don't charge you for anything. If you're not specific, they might bring you out like a packaged bottle of water, which will cost you money. When you want to order, if you don't want to try to pronounce the word that's on the menu, then just say ce plat, s'il vous plaît, or you can try to pronounce it and say s'il vous plaît. When you're finished, when they come by, you can say l'addition, s'il vous plaît, or you can flag them down and make a writing motion on your palm, and hopefully they recognize it as the receipt. And this actually works in most countries, by the way. When they ask about the method of payment, they're going to say une carte bleue ou des espèces, which is a credit card or debit card or by cash. So they'll most likely use those combination words when they're asking about the method of payment. And hopefully they'll actually speak English and you won't have to worry about all of this. But in case they don't speak English, these are really good phrases to know for when you're going to eat out in France. So that's it for the video, and I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for listening. And hopefully this is helpful for you for whenever you go to France for your Maymester. And bon voyage!